You guys are in the South region. A lot of people are calling that the toughest region, and you got a first-round matchup against Nevada. What's the film telling you about Eric Musselman's team?
You got a heck of a team. They're all about the same size, so they're very, very difficult to match up with. They really shoot the ball well from outside, and they're just a dynamic offensive team. They score in a lot of different ways, so we're going to have to do a great job on defense.
Talk to me about your team. What has you feeling good about your team based on this year's performance? What stands out most about you guys?
Well, our guys have battled through a lot of adversity, Stephen A. We feel good about the fact that we've got Bamba back on the court. He was out for a few games. We feel good about the fact that our guys have seen a lot of different things over the course of this year, going through playing the Big 12 and against all the tough competition we faced. And our guys are resilient, so we're excited about being in the NCAA tournament and the opportunity on Friday against Nevada.
Go ahead, Max.
The nature of the tournament, Coach, is different than all other major sports in this country. It's basketball, it's not football, and yet it's a one-and-done situation. Given those parameters, what is the most important thing you think heading into the tournament for your team to have success? Or for any team to have success in the tournament? What's the one thing?
I think the most important thing, Max, is being in the moment. It's so important to be alert and aware in the present moment because it sounds basic, but it's so easy to get your mind pulled into something else and play through frustration or hesitation or worry. And that just doesn't work this time of year.
You know, Coach, I got to ask you about this kid, Andrew Jones. I mean, he was obviously diagnosed with leukemia, and we know that he's battling it. You guys seem to have really, really rallied around him. I want you to take us back to the moment where you found out what he was suffering from and talk about how your players have been able to respond to such adversity in light of what has transpired with him.
Well, it was unlike anything that any of us had ever gone through before, and Andrew was literally playing for us one day and then a few days later diagnosed with leukemia. So it was so abrupt. He's so close with our guys. Our guys are like brothers. They're very, very close. They care about each other. They love each other. They spend unbelievable amounts of time together. So when this happened with Andrew, it hit them. It hit everyone in our program like a ton of bricks. The great thing has been Andrew's mentality and the way that he's fought this disease has been awesome. He's battled. He's made a lot of progress over the last several weeks. He's out of the hospital now. He's still getting treatment. He's still, working through the process of fighting this disease. But he's set such a great example for our guys in terms of the way to fight and the way to battle.
Yeah, how can you not rally behind that? Talk about perspective. Coach, more than half your games this year are against tournament teams. So I have them here. You guys have played Duke, Butler, Gonzaga, Michigan, Bama, West Virginia, Texas Tech. Which of those teams do you feel like is the most dangerous come tournament time?
You guys know better than to ask a coach that. I think of all those teams, Duke is the most talented.
Okay.
And obviously this year is not unlike any year. The cream rises to the top in March, and they've got unbelievable talent. I think of those teams, Texas Tech is the best defensively. And as you guys mentioned earlier with Virginia, if you can stop teams from scoring, that gives you a great chance to win. Obviously, Kansas is a team that they've got a lot of different weapons. They shoot the ball probably better than any of those other teams that you mentioned, so they're dangerous as well.
Go ahead, Max.
Offense seems to be what people like heading into the tournament. Stephen A. has even been saying he's rooting against Virginia because, who wants to see these low-scoring games? Coach, I love defense. I love good, not just hack-a-guy defense, but really good defense. Why is it that there aren't more teams modeled after what Virginia's doing right now, where they attack the ball? Is it just too difficult to get guys' endurance up to function as a unit that way? Why don't we see more of that?
Well, number one, because it's hard. And, obviously from a player standpoint, guys would rather score the basketball. Number two, depending on the makeup of your roster, if you have some younger guys, it's really, really challenging to get freshmen to defend at the level that some of these more veteran-oriented teams are defending. If you look at a team like Duke, they're very, very freshman-oriented. It's really difficult when you have freshmen to get them to guard like that. So at the end of the day, whoever wins it, whoever advances to the Final Four, they're going to have to do both. They're going to have to play defense. They're going to have to score the basketball. But a team like Virginia, Texas Tech, who I mentioned earlier, they have a chance every time out because of the way they guard you.
Coach Smart, I'm just looking at your resume. 2010, 2011, you went 28-12 at VCU. Really, Shaka Smart got on the basketball map with the rest of the basketball world because you guys advanced to the Final Four. Can you talk to me about what it takes in this day and age to win in the NCAA tournament, in your estimation, and how that may differ for what it required back in 2011 to win in the NCAA tournament?
I don't think it's changed too much, Stephen A. I think the biggest thing that's changed even the last several years is college basketball has gotten younger and younger. So, what you've seen is teams that are dominated by freshmen being able to have more and more success than they did probably 10, 15 years ago. But what goes into winning will never change. What goes into winning is having a group of guys that are connected around a common cause and a team that's driven by the players. The great thing about that 2011 Final Four team is we gave them the game plan, and then they would leave the locker room and they say, "Oh, that's great, whatever coach was talking about, but we know what we need to do." And whoever wins it, I guarantee you, whoever goes to the Final Four, they're going to have that same mentality.
Go ahead,
Coach,
Matt.
it all happens so fast. I understand you say the most important thing is to stay in the moment. But you have to be aware of what lies ahead should you get ahead, beyond Nevada. Cincinnati and then Arizona, you figure, or Virginia. I mean, you guys are in the murderer's row of brackets. You talk about staying in the moment. How in the moment can you be against Nevada? Because you're going to have to be, if you get by, you're going to have to be in the next moment just like that.
Well, Max, just like you, when we're in the next moment, then we'll focus on that. But right now, it's all about preparing for Friday's game and helping our guys literally lock their minds in on what they need to do next. We talk about response being focusing on the next most important thing. So for us right now, that's Nevada, and that's all we're worried about. It's a heck of a bracket, as you mentioned, but if you don't win the first game, you don't really get a chance to even focus on those other teams.
Coach, let me say this to you before you go. I will not apologize for rooting for Virginia to lose. It's not disrespect. They are an elite defensive team, but I don't want to see opponents held to 40 and 45 points. I'm not apologizing for that, Coach. I just can't take it. I just can't take it.
I understand. You need to spend some time with Tony Bennett, and I think if you were around him more, you would root for them.
But he's a great coach. I know he's a great coach, but damn it, maybe he's too good, Coach. Maybe that's the problem. I would be rooting for you to beat him, I tell you that much.
Yeah. Stephen A.,
chance.
You like watching Floyd Mayweather or the 04 Pistons? Come on, get over it. It's okay.
Why don't you
have a great defense.
Shaka, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Best of luck.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
Coming up next, Ray Allen had some words about